Bueno, pues seguimos grabando, señores de YouTube. Esto lo vamos a subir a
Thank you
al
very much.
trencito.
Why don't you close the doors, please? And good afternoon, Bronx Explorers, and welcome aboard the Wild Asian Monorail. My name is Eugene. I'll be your guide and driver. Now, folks, this is very important for your safety. Please remain seated at all times with your hands and feet inside the car. And here we go. Here at the Bronx Zoo, the headquarters of the Wildlife Conservation Society, we're working to save wildlife and wild places around the world. We have scientists and eco guards working in the field and zookeepers working right here at home to protect a wide range of life. Now I'm going to point out the animals as we approach them, but I'm going to need your help. Scientists and zookeepers need good observation skills to learn about animal behavior and to ensure their health. Let me know what you see and please share with the other guests. And we have now traveled over 7,000 miles and arrived in Asia. Be on the lookout for animals. Now, Asia is a continent known for its vast deer population and its deer diversity. Now, most of our animals have migrated to the far side of the zoo, but if you look right to the right, that spotted deer laying by some of those antlers, that's a male axis deer, spotted axis deer. Now, they're native to India and Sri Lanka. And the Bronx Zoo has shown those particular deer here since 1899, when the zoo first opened 125 years ago. And unlike other deer, they will keep their spots for their entire lifetime, while other deer do lose their spots. If you look to the upper right, folks, there's an animal laying there, a little white belly. To the top right, that's a female black buck antelope. I'll give you their description in a few seconds, but I don't want you to miss this. Look to the right. See these big deer? Especially the males with those huge antlers, these are known as the Bactrian deer, the beautiful Bactrian deer. Now they're native to Central Asia and are subspecies of the red deer, even though they do not have that red coat. Now one of our researchers just discovered some in Afghanistan after not being seen there for nearly 40 years, and now we have them right here at the Bronx Zoo. Now getting back to the little white-bellied animal that was laying down, that's a black buck antelope. That was a female. Now they're classified as sexually dimorphic, only meaning that the males and females look different from one another, even though they're the same species. Now again, that was a female that you saw with the tan coat white belly with no horns, where the males have that chocolate coat white belly with those horns. And another species we'll see a little later, known as the Marasinger deer. We'll see them a little later. Now we all know that a species that's extinct no longer exists. Now the next animal was on the verge of extinction. In fact, the Mongolian wild horse, or the Przewalski's horse, was extinct in nature, and they can only be found in zoos. And recently, there have been some reintroductions of the Mongolian wild horses in areas of Mongolia and China from North America and Asian zoos. And as the train's about to round this corner and we're about to come into the lower part of our meadow, we'll soon be on the lookout for the beautiful Mongolian wild horses. And folks, look for the baby foal. We had a baby foal born here several weeks ago.
El trencito?
So as we come around,
¿Ah? ¿Está bien?
might be in the front.
Me gusta, mi niña.
From there he is down to the bottom right. There's the baby foal. Now on his second day, he was running around like he owned this place. The second day. He's about several weeks old. Beautiful Mongolian wild horses. Now as you're looking at them, I'm pretty sure you notice the difference between these horses and our domestic ones. One, they have shorter legs and a stockier build. They also have an erect mane. They're missing a forelock. That's a piece of mane that drapes over the forehead of our domestic horses. Now the Bronx received its first animals in 1902, and to date, we've had over 50 Mongolian wild horse foals born right here at the Bronx Zoo. And in the meantime, here's one of our animal experts. His name is Jonathan Slatt, to speak more about these wonderful horses. Again, Jonathan Slatt.
I'm Jonathan Slatt, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator for the Wildlife Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place.
That little girl in the pink dress, you gotta be seated back there.
That allow people and
Me
wildlife.
too, little girl, she's gotta be seated. She's gotta be seated.
Przewalski's horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s. On a recent trip to Kazakhstan,
My friend, the little girl next car, she has to be seated in the pink dress. Called B2. Called B2. The little girl has to be seated.
Stories to watch the impossible.
She has to sit down.
And to see hope restored.
Thank you so much
That's
for her
what's happening
safety.
today.
Bueno, tienen que ir
All
todos
right, folks, this
sentados
one that we're
ahorita.
coming
Iba
into is
una
our upper
niña
meadow.
parada, según dicen.
And this is just an extended area where we do allow our horses to play, frolic, and run around. So here at the Bronx Zoo, we do offer them plenty of room and allow them to do just what they want to do. Again, our Mongolian wild horses, and again, all this upper area is theirs, and yes, they use every bit of it. From the lower to the upper, from the back to the front, this is all theirs for the Mongolian wild horses. And as we slowly proceed up this hill, we'll soon be on the lookout for one vulnerable and endangered species. And believe me when I tell you, they are very large. We're speaking about the gaur, the world's largest wild cattle. Now, at this time of the day, they normally go to the far right side of their meadow, but they could fool us and could be right. They're at the top when we come in, but I think they're at the middle of their meadow. So we'll be seeing them soon. Again, the gaur, the world's largest wild cattle. As a matter of fact, a few did fool me. If you look to the upper right, there's one standing right there. There's a few walking away. There they go. Look to the upper right. The gaur, the world's largest wild cattle. Now, males can weigh over 2,000 pounds as much as a small car. They stand 6 feet tall and are 10 feet long. And with their large size and impressive horns, a male gaur can fight off just about anything, folks, and that includes a tiger. But what threatens these huge animals is the loss of their Asian habitats and diseases that they do catch from other domestic cattle. Now, recently we've added 2 females and a male from San Diego. They arrived by special truck. As we're trying to increase our herd, and we have been successful, we now have more gaur. And we're going to see some more as we come to the right. Now, only 4 zoos in America carry this species, and of course the Bronx Zoo is one of them. Now, if you can, try to get a good look at those horns, if you can. Now, if those horns are curving in, those are all females. If they're slightly pointing up, those are all males. Again, these are the gaur, the world's largest wild cattle. And not the other animals bother them. They're as powerful as they. The head of this particular herd is a female, known as the matriarch. As powerful as big, the gaur, the world's largest wild cattle. And our calves are getting bigger and bigger day by day.
Esto es lo que el recorrido.
And as we're about to test our scientific and observation skills, you might be hearing a noise coming from the concrete jungle rather than the Asian one. You know, it's easy to forget that the Bronx Zoo sits in the heart of an urban environment. And the noise that we're hearing behind us now is the traffic from the Bronx River Parkway. And this very large fence that we're approaching right here is used to reduce the noise of that city traffic because we do want to keep our animals calm. Now again, I'm going to ask everyone to please remain seated as we're about to round this corner because we are now on the lookout for a tiger. Now, tigers provide excellent camouflage, so they're very often difficult to spot. They're so secretive that even our professional researchers have a hard time finding them. Now, adult tigers don't leave them alone in the wild, which is why we're going to see one of them at the exhibit at a time. And once around this corner, folks, we're now looking out for Suhana. Now, as if right on cue, she's right across the pool. As we come down, you get a nice view. Look down to the bottom right. She's laying on the edge of a pool. Now, this is Suhana, our female Malayan tiger. Now, the 2 types of species that we do show here at the Bronx Zoo, the Malayan and the Siberian, also known as the Amur, the Siberian are the larger of the 2. But this is a Malayan tiger. There she is down to the bottom right, laying right before pool. There she is. They're smaller and they have a deeper orange color. Now, tigers hunt a variety of animals, but they prefer wild pigs and medium-sized deer. Now, typically, a tiger will gorge itself with a fresh kill, eating as much as 40 pounds of meat at one time. Now, just think. That's the equivalent of you and I eating 160 hamburgers in one sitting. And after a meal of that size, a tiger not eating it for about several days. And if you do want to get a closer look at our tigers, you can visit our Tiger Mountain right here at the Bronx Zoo. Again, folks, that is Suhana, our female Malayan tiger. And she's a beauty. Now soon the train will be coming down a small hill. We'll soon be in the back of the gaur exhibit. So we may get another peek at the gaur. Because about another 20 minutes or so I see a big female up there. They're going to start coming down on this hill. And it's a sight to behold. You can really appreciate their great size. But I would say that's about another 50 minutes. And as the train's about to come down this next small hill, we'll soon be in the back of that very first meadow. We see our Bactrian deer and one of our black buck antelope. They're going to start drifting down this way eventually. And if you look down to the bottom right, and our small animals in the back. Now again, look down, these bird right below, these are the peafowl, which is the national birds of India. Now males are called peacocks, while females are called peahens, and the little babies, of course, are called peachicks. Now the males have that long blue neck, while the females have that short green neck. The peafowl is the national birds of India. Now as we come down, folks, you're going to see a road down to the bottom right. Take it hard back to the left. You can see a lot of our barracuda deer back there. There you go. There's a big male walking back towards them as well. Now the next animal blends in with the muddy area it calls home. If you see what looks like a pig with a tusk that runs through the top of his snout and curves backwards towards his eyes, you find a pig called the babirusa. And the fact that the tusk resemble antlers earned this pig its name. Babirusa means pig deer in the Malay language. Now males will use those tusks to fight with other males to display dominance in order to attract the females. Now they're gray in color, so they blend in very well with the exhibit. As we're approaching and passing by our bamboo thicket, look down to the bottom right, and there's one right below. So let's see if he'll walk away from the fence. He's looking right up at us. Notice those tusks. And the second pair, we do have another male, and he's right there. Just a little bit smaller. The babirusa, the pig deer. Now, folks, again, I'm going to ask everyone to please remain seated because we're about to see the world's largest land mammal, and we're slowly coming up on it. We're speaking about Patty, our Asian elephant, and she's going to be to the right.
Oh, los elefantes.
Now that large tree that you see about the chip
Los elefantes, amor.
Now African and Asian elephants are iconic animals worldwide, but they're struggling in the wild. Now the first thing that you're going to notice about this lovely lady, once we get closer, again look to the right, is her size. Asian elephants can weigh more than 10,000 pounds. So they eat a lot of vegetation. And on top of that, Patty eats about 200 pounds of hay each day, and she drinks about 60 gallons of water. Again, that is per day. Now once we get close, try to get a good look at that trunk, because only Asian elephants have this adaptation. She has a finger-like feature on the end of that trunk where she could gently pick up a blade of grass, or with that same trunk. She could tear down all these tree branches out here with enormous force. That trunk holds more than 40,000 muscles. It's an incredible tool. Now folks, Patty's over 50 years old. She's over 50. Now here at the Bronx Zoo, we do take very good care of our elephants. They not only get baths, but they get pedicures as well, and they deserve it. That is Patty, our Asian elephant. And as we leave our elephant zone, we're now on the lookout for another large mammal, tends to weigh around 3,500 pounds, has a horn in his nose, and looks to be armor-plated. But nothing can be further from the truth when you're talking about our rhinoceros skin. And today, folks, we have our Priya and her son Patrick, our greater one-horn rhinos, also known as the Indian rhinoceros. Now as we come down, this is Mom walking to us. That's Patrick over here by the tree. This is Priya. The mom slowly walking towards us. Hey, Priya.
Okay.
Now, all rhinos are highly endangered, with about 3,700 surviving in India and Nepal. Now, here at the Bronx Zoo, we've had great success caring for these very rare animals, but breeding is a huge challenge. Now, this part is for the moms on the tray. Moms, listen to this. A female rhino stays pregnant for 16 months. Then after being pregnant for almost a year and a half, they give birth to a calf weighing around 100 pounds. Now the calf will stay with its mother for about 2 to 3 years, even though weaning will only take about 12 to 16 months. Now again, most people think that rhinos are armor-plated, and again, nothing can be further from the truth. They just have a layer of skin that has many folds, as you can see. So when you do see a rhinoceros laying in the mud, folks, they're not there because they really like it. They're there to protect that very sensitive skin from sunlight and from insects. As a matter of fact, one of our other rhinos, her name is Penny. Before the zookeepers bring her out, they have to put sunblock on her face and ears to make sure that she does not sunburn. Now we've had 14 baby rhinos born right here at the Bronx Zoo, and we're currently caring for 5 endangered species as I speak. Now quickly, look to the right. We're now about to pass the original mud wall of Wild Asia, made back in 1977, and made larger by our rhinos all by themselves just by continually stomping around it. That's how they made it bigger, and they've been doing it for the last 47 years. And here's some more about our rhinos.
The rhinos you see here are Indian rhinos.
That's Priya and Patrick.
We work with habitats all over the world that are homes to rhinos. Here is a note from our field office in Sumatra, and Wulan, who works with the Sumatran rhino. Sumatran rhinos are the smallest of the world's rhinos, and they are considered critically endangered.
My name is Wulan Puspari, and I'm the Species Conservation Specialist for WCS Indonesia program. We carried out an island-wide survey of the last wild population of Sumatran rhinoceros in Indonesia. With so many unknowns on how to manage Sumatran rhinos in the wild or captivity, our studies showed definitively that we must protect them at source. The cost of doing nothing could be the extinction of the species. And I can't imagine that.
All right, folks, as we leave Priya back behind, if we got to the meadow, you'll see various deer and antelope. Now those small brown deer, they're known as the hog deer. Those big chocolate-colored deer are known as the sandbar deer. Some more hog deer laying on the fence, and right below is the spotted Formosa sika deer. There's another one out there standing in the meadow. Now the hog deer, they get their name because they're short and heavy like a hog, as you can see. They creep, they duck, they run under things rather than jump over things like other deer, hence the name hog deer. Someone walking down to the bottom right. And that big chunk killer deer, before I get to that, look down to the bottom right, folks. This little reddish brown deer right below us, that's the female Indian muntjac deer, also known as the barking deer, because they will make a bark-like sound once they sense a predator. Now those particular deer mark their territories by scent glands which are found right near their eyes. Now the big chunk killer deer you saw was the sandbar deer, the largest deer in Southern Asia. They stand about 5 feet tall at the shoulder, weighing as much as 650 pounds, and with antlers that grow at least 6 feet long. Look to the far right, there's two sandbar deers, a young male and female. Now over on the rocky ledge, those are female brown antler deer. Brown antler deer. They get their name from the curvature of the male's antlers, because once they fully develop, they look just like human eyebrows, hence the name brown antler deer. Another male hog deer right below some of those antlers. We're also going to be on the lookout for this Nilgai antelope. Now they get their name from the color of the male's coat. Nilgai means blue bull in Hindi. And that's because the males have a bluish gray tint to their coats, but the females, which we'll see, have a yellowish brown in theirs. As a matter of fact, there's some up there. We'll see some closer to come up. Males have horns, but the females do not, and they've been clocked at over 30 miles per hour while running. They are very fast. They are also the largest antelope species in Asia. Another distinctive feature, we're coming up on some now. Look down to the bottom right. Look right above their hooves. They look like they wear white and black socks. These are female Nilgai antelope, the largest antelope species in Asia. Now in this area, folks, we're going to look out for the cute little Chinese tufted deer, very elusive little deer, 40 pounds maximum weight. So if we do get to see one or two, they're not babies. They're just like our white-tailed deer here in New York. They have a white tail in the rump. And when they flash those tails, it's the signal of danger to the other deer. And it also allows the small fawns to follow their mothers in flight again once they sense danger. Now this is going to be
¿Está
hard for us.
disfrutando
There's two right below us by the
del
fence, so they're
paseo,
hard.
del
There's
safari
two
en el
right
tren?
below us. And they get that name tufted because of the tuft of hair found right on the top
No,
of
mi
their
gente,
heads.
este es el safari del tren de el Bronx en Nueva York. Aquí
And there's one way up in the
estamos
right corner by the fence, laying those little white-tipped deers.
en el
Now these are very
zoológico
rarely
del
found in zoos
Bronx.
outside of China, so we're very fortunate to have them right here at the Bronx Zoo. And we're now about to cross back over the Bronx
les
River, the
traje a
highest
dar
point of
una
our tour. Once we're
vueltecita.
over the water, we will be 35 feet high. Now, thousands of commuters cross this waterway every day, but underneath the highways and the elevated tracks, the river still rushes along, providing a habitat for turtles, ducks, fish, and migrating birds. Now, the WCS knows how important it is to protect the Bronx River corridor and its ringway. So whether it's the Bronx River here in New York or the Irrawaddy River in Asia, rivers and streams are vital resources for wildlife everywhere. Now, this next rocky terrain is the perfect environment for our next two species of animals, and both are well adapted to climbing rocks, mountain slopes, and folks, even trees. Look on the tree stump. Look down to the bottom right. These are our male markers with those long corkscrew rods, which on the males can grow as long as 5 feet and 10 inches on the females. Look to the upper right, how this large rock. Now the males also sport those cool beards under their chin. Now these animals are able to jump 6 to 8 feet straight up, folks, 6 to 8 feet straight up, and our marks will know to climb these trees just to reach the fresh leaves. Now look down to the bottom right, laying before that wide tree in the hay, those are two Himalayan tar. Notice the dark and shaggy coats and ones that go directly back over their heads. They also have special rubbery cores in their hooves that allow them to climb rocks very easily, just like the sole of a climbing boot. So if you did want to test or study these animals, I should say, we have to do a lot on rock climbing, Markhor and Himalayan tar. Now the train is about to slow up, and that's because we are approaching a large tree. There's another Himalayan tar right there. And this is where we would normally show our red panda. Now most of the day, folks, they run in. We have extreme heat as we do have today, so I'm going to see if at least one is out. We normally show 3 in this area, and there is one climbing a tree, and there's another one coming out on the ground. I'm kind of stunned. But look down to the bottom right because they don't like the heat. There's one. Now people have been fascinated by the color of their fur. Now in Nepal they're called Han Ho, which roughly translated means firefox. And the Chinese word for red panda translates small bear cat. Now today, folks, we know that the red panda is not related to the giant panda at all. They're more related to skunks, weasels, and raccoons, and they both do eat bamboo. And if you'd like to see some more of our red pandas, you can visit our Himalayan highlands, which is a short walk from the monorail. And you'll also be able to see our snow leopard, Asia's other big cats. And if you look back to the left, see that young mark on top of that tree stump, I told you they can leave 6 to 8 feet straight up. I guarantee you, they're not easy to life. And as we round this bend, our journey is almost at an end. And you've heard from some of our animal experts, and you tried out some of your own science skills along this ride. So we hope that you've been inspired by what you've heard and seen today. And remember, in addition to 95 parks here in New York City, the Bronx Zoo, the New York Aquarium, the Central Park Zoo, the Queens Zoo, and the Prospect Park Zoo, the WCSs has scientists in the field at more than 300 sites and in over 60 countries. Now, conflict between humans and wildlife is becoming a more common concern all over the world. But the Wildlife Conservation Society, scientists both in the field and here at the Bronx Zoo, are working to find solutions to ensure the survival of wildlife worldwide, and you can help our efforts. As a matter of fact, folks, just by visiting us today, you are helping us help wildlife. And you can discover other ways to get involved as well. You can visit us online, join an education program, or just become a WCS member. Now again, I'm going to ask everyone to please remain seated as we're about to make a brief stop, and I do mean brief, only a few seconds. Then after that, we will be pulling in the platform where I'm going to let you go to enjoy the rest of your day here at the wonderful Bronx Zoo. So again, please remain seated. Now folks, we do have a new attraction here at the Bronx Zoo. You may have heard of it. It is called Animal Chronicles. Again, Animal Chronicles. It is a quarter-mile walking trail that takes you to some eco-sculptures which speaks about the Bronx Zoo's history and saving animal species and connecting them with New Yorkers. Again, it is
Bueno,
called
este fue
Animal
el
Chronicles. It is now
recorrido
open and it will
del
close
safari
September
del
the 2nd.
Bronx, mis amigos. Así que espero que lo hayan disfrutado.